welcome aboard one of the most famous ferries in the world. Please pay attention to the emergency procedure notices displayed around the vessel. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you will hear 7 short blasts followed by 1 prolonged blast on the whistle. If you hear this signal, please make your way to the life jacket assembly points following the assembly station direction signs displayed. The crew will be on hand to give instructions and advice. Please note that smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, is not permitted on any part of the vessel, and for your own safety, we also ask you not to stand on the seats or sit on the ship's rails. We ask cyclists to alight after all foot passengers have left the vessel. Please be aware that at low tide, the link span passenger bridges will be at a steep angle. This time of day is called low water. You may have difficulty if you have reduced mobility, so please ask for help if required, and take care. Photography and filming may take place during this cruise and may be used for the purpose of promoting Mersey Ferries online, in print and on social media.
During the cruise, you will see some of Liverpool and Wirral's most famous landmarks, including the Three Graces, Wallasey Town Hall, the Mersey Tunnel's ventilation shafts, Camel Laird Shipyard, the Royal Albert Dock, and Liverpool's 2 magnificent cathedrals. We shall be calling at Seacombe Ferry Terminal on the Wirral side of the river. Seacombe is the gateway to New Brighton and offers the opportunity to walk along the coastal promenade to New Brighton, which is about 2.5 miles. Seacombe is also home to Eureka Science and Discovery, a new visitor attraction designed for children and young people up to 14 years. There's been a ferry across the Mersey for more than 800 years, providing a link between Liverpool and the Wirral shorelines. Pier Head, our starting point, takes its name from the long stone pier which once jutted out into the river from the shore next to the Sailors' Church, the Church of Our Lady and St Nicholas. You can see the church at the back and to the left of the Liver building, with a golden square rigger ship on its lantern-top tower.
The modern 350-metre terminal on your right is Liverpool's cruise liner berth. Cruise lines, including Cunard, Norwegian Cruise Line, Costa Cruises, Celebrity, Disney, Princess and Viking Cruises, sail into the city year-round.
In all, 7 miles of docks and 23 miles of quays stretch along the Liverpool foreshore. In 1710, the Corporation of Liverpool started work on the world's first commercial wet dock, and by the end of the century, the city boasted a full dock system. Steam had revolutionised shipping, and this, combined with the Industrial Revolution and the opening up of the Americas, secured Liverpool's future as a trading city and a major port.
Liverpool's unique character has been influenced by a diverse mix of races: Welsh, Irish, West Indians, Africans and Chinese. And this has produced a population characterised by its vitality, resilience and extreme sense of humour. The city is also home to the oldest black and Chinese communities in Britain. Liverpool had prospered from trade with the British West Indies and the American colonies during the 18th century. A latecomer to the transatlantic slave trade of cheap goods to Africa, slaves to the sugar plantations, and sugar, rum and tobacco home to England, Liverpool nevertheless came to dominate the slave trade until its abolition in 1807. Some slaves were sold in Liverpool, mainly for domestic service, and you can find out much more about Liverpool's role in transatlantic slavery at the International Slavery Museum at the Royal Albert Dock. The growth of the United States of America provided Liverpool with growing volumes of trade, and new docks were opened on the Mersey in quick succession during the 1800s. The city was described as the gateway to the British Empire and the door to the New World. A significant Irish presence has existed in the city for several centuries. In 1841, an estimated 49,000 Irish people lived in the city. And in the following years, during the Great Famine, over 1.5 million people crossed the Irish Sea, many of whom then left for the Americas, but many stayed, and their presence changed the character of the city forever. Up until the 19th century, Liverpudlians spoke in the same way as their Lancashire neighbours, but the impact of Irish migration to the city gave the city its unique accent. Today, an estimated 75% of Liverpool's population can trace their heritage to Ireland. You can find more information on this at the Museum of Liverpool. Between 1830 and 1930, over 9 million people left Liverpool by boat in search of a better life. Before steamships were introduced, these journeys were extremely hazardous. To sail to America would take 35 days, and the trip to Australia lasted from 10 to 17 weeks, depending on wind and weather. The ships were crowded, and conditions encouraged the spread of diseases such as cholera. By the late 1800s, over 200 ships a week would leave Liverpool and travel to all corners of the world. Liverpool then was the most important port outside London. Restored in the 1980s, and the Royal Albert Dock has become one of the country's favourite tourist attractions. To the left are the beautiful buildings known as the Three Graces, which together form one of the most majestic and famous waterfronts in the world. On the right is the Port of Liverpool building with its impressive copper dome. Opened in 1908, the design came from a rejected competition entry for the Anglican Cathedral. In the middle stands the Cunard building. Built in 1914, the building was designed in the style of a 16th century Italian palace and was once the offices of the famous shipping line owned by Samuel Cunard, who operated the first regular transatlantic lines between Liverpool and New York in 1840. Other famous shipping companies followed, such as the White Star Line, owner of the Titanic, and the Blue Star Line. Their magnificent liners berthed along the famous Prince's Landing Stage, which was for many years the longest floating landing stage in the world. It was from here that over 9 million emigrants passed through Liverpool between 1830 and 1890 on their way to a new life in America.
Finally, the beautiful Liver Building, erected by the Royal Liver Friendly Society in 1911, is perhaps Liverpool's best-known landmark. Based on a Chicago waterfront skyscraper, the building is topped by the famous liver birds, which stand nearly 6 meters high. They're said to be based on an eagle, which was the original seal of King John. However, when the seal was lost in the 18th century, the artist commissioned to design the new seal misinterpreted the eagle as a cormorant, hence their rather unusual appearance. Some say that the female liver bird faces the river waiting for the sailors to come ashore, while the male is looking inland to see if the pubs are open. They've never mated, so there are no other liver birds in the world, and tradition has it that if they ever fly away, Liverpool will cease to exist.
Here at Pier Head, we are in front of the Liverpool Jerry Marsden Ferry Terminal. Inside, you'll find the Beatles Story Fab Four Cafe on the ground floor and the Pan-Asian restaurant Matu on the top floor. The Beatles Story is located just a short walk away in the Royal Albert Dock. The award-winning attraction takes visitors on an immersive journey through the lives, times, culture and music of the Beatles, and contains an impressive collection of fascinating memorabilia. For more information and to buy tickets in advance, please visit the Beatles Story website.
We hope you've enjoyed your cruise and look forward to welcoming you aboard again soon. Tell us about your day and share your pictures with us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.